So this is where I'm going to talk about different steps you can take to kind of fight this sugar issue. Starting off with the filling, low glycemic index breakfast. Breakfast, one, contrary to what you've heard, is a great meal to skip. Because if you eat dinner, skip breakfast, and then eat lunch, you just fasted for 18 hours, which is amazing and healing for the body. Breakfast is, this is totally random and off the subject, but breakfast, when you get up in the morning, is the best time to drink water. You've just been dehydrated for 8 hours. People that have problems drinking enough water throughout the day, drink half of your water content for the day right when you get up in the morning. Yeah. It'll rehydrate your body and get you going for the day. Talk about your best energy source, it's water. It's a great time to eat just fruit. Okay? If you follow or you've heard about any combining principles, eating fruit on an empty stomach is the best way. It processes and it's out of the stomach in 30 minutes. If you eat it with other foods, it'll sit there and rot and ferment. So it's a great thing to eat for breakfast on its own. An apple. There you go. It's a great breakfast. One of my favorite things, and I think I kind of got it at the bottom of my list. I don't have my list, but I put eggs over bagels because bagels is good for the body. Eggs is a protein source. Protein goes to the liver. It's converted into glucose to be used by the body. So protein is indirectly a very stable quality energy source for the body. I think a great breakfast is like an omelet. You know, an egg, onions and peppers. That's a great breakfast. No sugar.
Do you skip the bread then? Is
Yes.
that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
They don't have to. Again, when I talk about this and I talk about different levels,
Sure.
you got to understand where you're at in your health.
Yeah.
Right? There's some people that eat breads that they know it causes a problem. They know they get constipated. They know they have a food reaction or something. You know, and they do it. They still do it because maybe they just don't understand, or there's different variables involved. Again, a healthy person eating whole grain bread or millet bread or Ezekiel bread, this is going to be no problem at all. We've been eating bread since the beginning of time. So,
And see, like in our culture, they think it's a complete meal after having some bread.
right.
That's where the problem is actually.
Yeah.
Just a little.
There's a website called Grindstone, www.grindstonebakery.com, and they have all this, they have a bread that's doesn't feed candida, and if you have celiac, you can handle it. It's best bread you can have is fermented and sprouted.
Cool.
Grindstonebakery.com.
So, what's that?
Stone, she said.
Grind,
Grind.
G-R-I-N-D,
Oh, grind.
Grindstone
Grindstone.
Bakery, fermented and sprouted bread.
So crowd out sweets with healthy fruits and vegetables, and along with that, drink plenty of water. Drink water throughout the day. That'll really help curb your cravings. Fruit was all we've ever had for thousands of years until we started processing sugar, which was really less than 100 years ago. About 100 years ago is when we really started large-scale processing sugar and making it white sugar. And when we realized, hey, if we take all the good stuff out of it, we can let it sit on the shelf for 3 years. So that's when that started. But all we've ever had throughout history is fruits and honey to satisfy our sweet cravings. Now, we naturally want sweet foods. I mean, that's human nature. When we first come out of the womb, breast milk is very, very sweet. Sweet foods are fine, but things have changed. Things have changed in the last 100 years, so you got to be careful. Drinking plenty of water, key, absolutely key. Keep physically active. Walking is one of the best exercises you can do. I think people don't exercise because they feel like they have to join a gym or do something really complicated or get some fancy workout program or something. Just walk. Just walk. Awesome exercise. My other favorite exercise is rebounding, which I don't have a rebounder, but I'll just jump. You do this for 5 minutes twice a day, it's an amazing workout. Stimulates your immune system, your lymphatic system, your cardiovascular system. If you actually do a live blood cell analysis and your blood cells all clumped together and you do this for 5 minutes and then you do another live blood cell analysis, all your red blood cells are separated and floating freely through your body. Just like that.
Could you just all get a jump rope then?
Jump roping. Awesome. Yeah. Mix the diet and regular sodas. Again, it's addictive. It's hard for some people. I was addicted to soda. Sweet Tarts, Twizzlers, Nerds, Fun Dip, Pixie Sticks,
M&M's.
Sprees, Snickers, you name it. I mean, it's what it is. So, soda, I was addicted to soda too, and I easily drank, I don't know, at least a case a week. I don't know if it was more, but at least, like 3 a day. Didn't think anything of it, and a lot of people still don't. But what I did is, the first thing I did is I stopped buying it, so it wasn't in my house. I just had it when I went out, and I just eventually phased it out. And now I don't even think about it. Never even crosses my mind to drink a soda. And in fact, when I do drink a soda, it almost knocks me out. It makes me pucker, and just it's like this. You don't realize how powerful it is. Especially when you hear things about how like policemen use it to, use coke to clean blood up at a crime scene and things like that. I mean, you realize how nasty and full of acid these things are. It's great for cleaning your car battery too, by the way.
Even toilets.
And your toilet, yeah. Eat cultured foods.
Yes, very brief about it.
We're going to talk about a little bit about that in body ecology, because I'm going to kind of tell you what I'm doing. Some of you know or have seen it. I've announced it to the whole world that I make sure I don't fail.
What?
Eat cultured foods. This probably should be number 1 on your list. This is one thing that's completely missing from American culture, that if you look at societies all around the world that live a long time and are healthy and free of illness and free of disease, they eat this every day. Yes. Sauerkraut, kimchi, cultured vegetables, kefir, raw goat kefir. There's all kinds of great cultured foods that we can eat. It's a challenge because just with the laws and the rules, everything's pasteurized. That totally defeats the purpose of culturing foods. So we are kind of developing a network of people around here that are going to start doing that, which is exciting because it's something we all need. And go ahead.
I buy these pickled beets that are in a jar at a couple of the stores in town. What do you think of those?
They're probably pickled in vinegar, most likely, which is straight feeding candida and fungus in your body.
Vinegar's bad.
Processed white distilled vinegar, which is what they use in pickling. You can't use raw apple cider vinegar in pickling because it has enzymes and it would eat what you're trying to pickle. So, raw apple cider vinegar, fantastic food. Paul Bragg lived to be 96, 97 years old. Bragg's apple cider vinegar. He died while surfing at like 96. He ate apple cider vinegar every day, man. The guy was amazing. It's funny, I had a client that I worked with in Las Vegas. I worked at a health food store for a while in Las Vegas, and this guy came in, and we asked him how old he was, because we could tell he was full of life and he was healthy, and he was like 91 years old. The guy looked like he was 60, We said, "What's your secret?" And he said, "Oh, I don't do dairy, I don't do a lot of meat." I named all these things. And then, like, the emphatic statement was, "And I've drank apple cider vinegar every day for 50 years. That was his big thing. So, amazing food.
The other thing I would like to say on the cultured foods, as you mentioned, the Indian pickles, we don't use vinegar at all.
Okay.
It's just the one kind of oil and mixing of spices, that's all.
Cool. Yeah, and most of the good ones, or if you do it yourself, you'll use water and sea salt and things like that. So.
What happens if you get heartburn from that kind of like apple cider vinegar and various amino acids?
Apple cider vinegar is the best thing to stop heartburn.
Yeah, that's right.
If you take apple cider vinegar
Yeah,
before a meal.
For me, it just causes it. Like if
Okay.
I put it on
Well,
my
if you have a
salad,
sensitivity to it, then there's something else going on that we have to
Oh, okay.
Figure out, yeah.
work. You won't have any of those issues with cultured foods.
Correct.
If you ate sauerkraut and things like that, you wouldn't have a problem. But if you have a problem with apple cider vinegar, there's something else going on.
You said
Because usually apple cider vinegar will stop heartburn. Just quick tip, if anybody gets heartburn,
Yeah.
take apple cider vinegar before a meal. You
Well, that's what
won't
I've
get
heard.
heartburn.
Yeah, somebody told me that.
If you get heartburn, take apple cider vinegar and it'll knock it out.
You said to avoid dairy,
Yes.
but then you said to eat. It's okay to have kefir.
Kefir is different.
Right, because that's fermented. It's cultured. Right, so basically all the
Same with the yogurt, see?
right, and again, it's hard because of the laws, but you want to eat raw foods. Like I get raw goat's milk straight from the farm. Raw goat's milk is what you want to culture to make your kefir. so that it's the best quality. So that's why we're going to try to develop kind of a network of people around here so we can start getting these things to people that they need to heal.
Holy basil also takes away your stomach acids.
I knew you were going to say that. You have a question?
So the kefir and the yogurts in the store, they've all been pasteurized?
Right, they have to be by law. There's no way around it. Plus, most of them have been, the cattle and the growth hormones and the antibiotics and everything else going on. So,
And that includes the ones with the probiotics?
well, they all contain probiotics, but they still have to be pasteurized.
So does that negate then?
Yep.
Yeah, they kill the bacteria.
Kill the
And then
bacteria.
It's ironic, the dead bacteria is still floating in there. And then they turn around and put the bacteria back in there, so, it's like, whatever.
As I said last time, we had guinea pigs.
Do you have a question?
Yeah, I noticed you named a couple of those cultured foods, and you named sauerkraut as one of them. I don't even know what kefir is.
Okay.
But sauerkraut's something that I can dig. Well, I mean, my language.
Right.
What's some other? Could you name some other cultured food specifics?
There's not a lot.
Okay.
If anybody can think of one that I'm missing, throw it out.
Yeah.
What's that?
Miso.
Miso,
That's
yeah.
another one.
Miso and tempeh they're fermented soy. That's what they eat in
Okay.
Japan. Natto. Those are all fermented soy. But as far as what you're gonna find,
Like at Hy-Vee.
Okay. You need to open your own store.
it's unfortunately it's not gonna be much benefit because it's gonna be
But I
pasteurized.
can go with sauerkraut.
There's a raw.
There's a raw
You can get raw sauerkraut at Whole Foods.
Oh, okay.
I actually just bought
All right.
one
Thank
2
you.
hours ago.
Yeah, still.
So, and like I said, we're gonna start. Actually, Jordan and Rosie are going to have some cultured foods available for us. I'm going to have him come up at the end and talk about his co-op and what he's doing because it's really awesome. But he even has cultured foods, which is like way exciting.
I'm sorry to prolong this, but at Hy-Vee you can get tempeh and miso, and that's not good? It's in the refrigerated section over by the,
Those are okay.
those are okay?
Yeah. Those are okay.